I just thought of something just the other day that I think is really significant that I talk about. And it has to do with the last work situation where I was sabotaged. And the night that that country singer came in to the place, I feel like I was originally intended to have that table. But there was a lot of just, you can tell when the black magic witchcraft sabotaged in the air big time. But anyways, so it was weird because it's like I've talked about it before just a little bit. I got like slammed and I had like, she had like, the other person had their table, maybe one other small table, and I had like all the rest of the tables in the restaurant. But what's super significant is just to the right of them, there was a two top, and there was, the country singer had went to a wedding in Manhattan, Montana, and probably one of, how do I say this without sounding like dumb and part of a system I don't believe in? High profile, I guess. High profile, sort of a wedding. And so it was odd because there was like this thin, like sort of gray haired gentleman, and I don't remember his name, but he had a really beautiful wife. They're an older couple, like in their 50s or something. And her name was Aurora. I remember her name. Because he kept trying to distract me. And so, like, literally, he had pushed his chair, like, into the middle of the restaurant and was trying to do everything he could to keep me tied up, keep me talking, keep me distracted. And, and plus I had all these other tables, so I was busy as crap anyways. But yeah, and so the other thing that was odd about it, well, and then he, like, when he used his card, he mentioned, he's like, that's not my real name. Like, you know what I mean? It was weird. And then they came back later. Oh, and I do remember talking to him about Lyme disease. And, but they came back another time and he asked the other server for the server with AIDS. I don't have that. Sorry. I kind of think I have a blood type where I can't even catch it, honestly. Plus, I like don't sleep with anyone or do any, banging or anything like that. And the other way, you know what that means. Anyways, so then when he comes back in the next time, he asks for the server with AIDS. I'm like, I don't have AIDS, I have Lyme disease. And but and then I mentioned the fact that that night, there was actually like a musician, and he's like, and then he was like, oh, cool, and seemed annoyed. But it was like that time they weren't interested in me. It was like that night they were like put on task to distract me and do everything I could to not like, whatever, notice that musician or talk to him or whatever. It didn't matter. It's like nothing came out of it anyways. But I went to the show, and then more sorcery went down there against me, also in a big way. So yeah, no, there's definitely some weirdness going on, but I do believe that couple was from Manhattan, Montana. And it was really obvious what they were trying to do that night. And then some of the things that have come out about these like false rumors and this and that and the other thing, it kind of all like seems to connect, and it does seem to be relevant. But yeah, I don't remember his name. I remember his wife's name was Aurora. He was trying to like hook me up with her. It was odd. It was bizarre. But yeah, no, there's definitely somebody that thinks there's something of some sort of status. And I don't even know if it's that chick that looks exactly like me, but I got my feelings and it wasn't a good one. And I didn't really care for her music. Sorry, honest to say, not the best, most well-written song. Sounds like it was like written to sound like a group from the 80s that were really good. Actually, they were awesome. They were like forerunners in the electronic music scene from Scotland. The Cocteau Twins, like, beginning of shoegaze, basically neo punk or whatever. Dream pop, is that what they call it now, that genre? So anyways, I just thought I'd mention that because that was really interesting and significant. I don't know if there's like any sort of tire connection there, but it was almost like at this wedding. Oh, the other thing he mentioned that night, he's like, well, you don't know who we are, but we know who you are. It was so weird. It was like they were put on task to go there and do everything they could to distract me, so that I couldn't talk to the other table. Anyways, thought I mentioned that because like when it came up the other night, I knew I was supposed to mention it. The other thing I know I'm supposed to get, my grandpa's been telling me, and he's passed on, that I need to get, before he died, he researched all of his stock market stuff, and he put every year like his stock market winnings and then a couple of the companies that were like complete farces that, didn't do anything with the money. It was a scam or like that. He actually lost a lot of money to beginning AI companies and stuff. When I had my copy of that book and it ended up at the parents' house, and that was the one thing I asked for my mom to give me. And odd enough, I never got that like ancestry lineage little booklet that my grandpa took a lot of years and a lot of time and work to put together to make sure that we all had it. So I feel like there might be another way that I might be able to get a copy from another relative, but that's one thing I feel like I'm supposed to do, is to mention those companies, especially in particular the ones that were scams, as there's definitely a connection there. But yeah, so anyways, I thought I probably should mention that event with that Manhattan couple.